Welcome to The Growth Equation. This isn't your typical business podcast. We're keeping it real about the challenges of scaling up, period. I'm Tristan Wright and I've been there. I've built and scaled my own business. I've sold it. I've learned a ton along the way. Now I'm bringing you the no BS stories of founders who are in the trenches right now, navigating that messy middle. We're talking advertising, marketing, design, creative, branding, the whole 9 yards. Doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur or running a team of 100. Everyone's got a secret sauce, that thing that makes them different, better. We're going to uncover it. So grab a coffee and let's get real. Today we're talking to Simon from the Ecommerce Accelerator, coming to us all the way from New Zealand. Simon, welcome, mate.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure.
So grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the reschedules. I wanted to be on point for today, and I'm feeling good.
We've tried to reschedule a couple of times, and we're finally here, and that's all that matters. So, Simon, tell us, who are you?
Who am I? I'm Simon John Phillips. I'm from New Zealand. Grew up in a small town called Palmerston North, which was great. I live in Auckland today. I'm engaged to my lovely partner, Ariel. We got engaged like 3 weeks ago, so that's fantastic. I'm a fiance now.
That's a big, exciting news. How did you propose?
Yeah, it was epic. It's been so good. I'm really looking forward to starting a family, and I run the Ecommerce Accelerator, where we help e-commerce brands scale.
Awesome. Go back. How did you propose?
Oh, yes. So Ariel's like a huge fan of New York. And I actually I didn't think New York was that cool. I was like, nah, New York will suck, whatever. I was off it. She grew up on like Friends and Gossip Girl. So it's her favorite place in the world. She took me there. I fell in love. There's just this energy to New York. I'm not sure if you've ever been. There's something special about it. I don't know how to describe it. And so we went there. There's a place called Fouquet's. It's like this beautiful, like artisan French hotel. And I had like a musician up on like a terrace suite, and I had like 3 different content creators because it's all about the content these days.
Of course.
So I had a video guy and a photographer and a content creator, and then we had the special set list, which was really special to us. And so we walked out, and there's some music going, and flowers and wine, and popped the question, and it was big resounding yes.
Did you see it coming?
That's a funny story too. I had the misdirection going perfectly. I had like a fake trip to Hawaii that was the plan. And then we worked together in the business, and I shared her a Fathom recording from a client call where I had screen shared for a second the WhatsApp plan of the engagement. And so after like 2 weeks out, after like the perfect setup, I sent her the plan. So it didn't have the exact details. So there was surprise on the day, and she was blown away by the suite and all the stuff. But yeah, she knew it was coming.
Geez, we can't do anything correctly, even though we do it all perfectly. You let it slip.
Oh, that's got me written all over it too. Get all the big bits right, and then just like fuck it up,
Yeah, just the minor detail you miss.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the personal side. Tell us a bit about your journey, man. Like, you've had a really, really interesting story. Like, you've been in business since the early 20s, had some fun things, some scary things, good things, bad things.
Yeah. Yeah. Since we're here relatively short time, what I'll do is I'll rip through like the short version, and then I think if there's some bits you want to dig into, let's go deeper. Because otherwise I'll be here for 40 minutes. So I was at high school. I was kind of like, I guess like the bit of the nerdy kid. Like I played World of Warcraft. I had like 300 days played, which is a lot of time to be in the online world. And then I saw this guy online called Ziz, and he was a bodybuilder, and I was like, I want to be cool like him. And so I went and became a bodybuilder and got super jacked. And then I started a brand called Fitwear. I started selling singlets. And this is the early days of Facebook. You kind of roll your face across the keyboard, money pours out of the screen at you. It's like, oh my God. And I proceeded to scale that brand and sell half at 23 for $1.1 million. And it's at this point, I'm like, yeah, I'm a genius. Everything I touch will turn to gold. Didn't really understand I was in the middle of an arbitrage opportunity, like it was, because it's the first thing. Like I was like, oh, what? Business isn't that hard, is it? And so, proceeded to do all the things that I felt you should do if you own a business. So I got like Ernest & Young strategic consultants, and I got like agencies and consultants and contractors involved. And over the next 4 years, and I acquired a streetwear brand that went into Culture Kings, and started a skincare brand, but didn't really launch it. Did the whole focus thing. I've nailed this one thing instead of seeing it through. Let's go and do 12 other things and get all of these other people involved, because I didn't believe I could carry it through myself. And so by 27, I was broke, living at home. I'd gotten in trouble with the law. So I was potentially facing jail time, been thrown out of my house, and I had a $200,000 mortgage on my parents' home, which they'd given me the seed capital to launch Fitwear. I grew it, got the investment, didn't buy an investment property, didn't buy a share, didn't do anything, just went all in. And I think that was really a symptom of the internal calibration I had with myself and my soul and a higher power. I was a very anxious, sad, broken kid that was trying to fill it with sex and drugs and money. It's I don't know if anyone's watching and you're on that journey. Doesn't work. Try that. Maxed it out. And so I didn't want to let my parents down. I refused to. There was some really dark thoughts at that point. I kind of didn't even want to be on the planet, but I was like, well, I'll put it bluntly, I'm not going to kill myself until I pay my parents back. And so I started an agency, had no money to start a brand, and I went out into the market with this pitch, which was basically, hey guys, I built this brand, had a lot of success, hired a bunch of agencies, and then they all made money while I lost everything. I don't think that's right. If you work with me, I'll only make money if you make money. And that resonated in 2017, and started scaling the agency, met my mentor, Brad Lindsay, who owns the largest 3PL in New Zealand. And he took me under his wing. He basically saved my life, helped me get sober, and did so much for me. He's an amazing man. And power of a mentor, guys. That's I knew two things coming out of Fitwear: get sober, get a mentor. And then the mentor helped me get sober, and then that gave me a base. We grew Glass Elephant up to 85 staff members. We made 1.2, or just it was weird, around the $1 million mark. And there's a story to that, which we can dig into. I think basically because I was trying to fill this hole. As soon as I got to about $1 million in cash, everything, I was cool enough now. So I stopped working on the business. I would just kind of check out. And so there's some real learnings, I think, there in terms of having a long-term sustainable goal that will carry you through milestones.
Yes,
because I just imploded a mill. And so, come out of Fitwear, 200 grand in debt. 3 years later, I've got an agency making more than 7 figures a year in net profit. And then what did I do? Proceeded to blow that up. And we hired a bunch of corporate leadership. It was a big lesson I took out of that company, was that corporate business and startup business are different, chalk and cheese. Ultimately, very different. And so it's not their fault. I'm the owner. I put them in the position. I wasn't really that available. Again, had focus issues, was trying to do too much at once. And the agency started to get to a point where I was on calls with clients, and my team, or even myself, was going, oh yeah, well, sorry, you're not making money, but we've fulfilled our deliverables. And it's at that point, I'm like, hold on a minute. I've come full circle and become the agency that we set out to
not
change. We didn't want to be them. That was the whole point. And so we dissolved the agency into what we have today, the Ecommerce Accelerator, where I use all my experience as a brand owner, as a agency owner. One extra little piece. We started a global 3PL. So we have 6 facilities in 6 countries: Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, UK, and Europe. And we do global freight forwarding and 3PL for our clients as well.
Okay. So
I'm only a little shareholder in that. Brad's the majority. That's, his lifelong business. And basically today, I just use all that experience to help brands build their own internal teams and scale their business.
That's awesome. So you have been through the highs and lows. You're really successful in your early 20s. Probably had a massive ass ego at the same time.
Massive, giant, such a dick, And yeah, like you said, very successful, business and financial.
On the surface.
On the surface, exactly. But it wasn't at all.
And when we're talking, I think the first time we had a conversation, we were talking about my story, and like I had a 7-figure business, and very similar age, I was 200 grand in debt, kind of
It
thing.
was,
So
that was wild, right? We're in
yeah,
that
like
same boat.
we looked amazing on the surface, but we actually didn't know how to run a business. Like it's like you know how to get things through the door, you know how
Well,
to deliver, but actually make it sustainable, last past 2 or 3 years is another story.
yeah. Yeah, I've always been good at making money, and the journey for me this time around is to hold on to it. And
Yeah.
just I think if I'd had a mentor, if there'd been some business in the family or something like that, like, hey, you've had an exit, you got $1 million, like
Mm.
buy a couple of houses, put it in the trust, do that, and like, hey, we've had success here, let's see it through. We don't we don't need to go broad, just
Mm.
because things are tough. Sometimes you got to punch through the wall, not
Yeah.
spread
So
out when you hit it.
and it's having a vision, and this is a really tough thing, having a vision past your current one. So like you 2 or 3 years into the future, but what does that once you achieve that, what is your next biggest step?
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. And I had it, for me, it was interesting because I had it qualitatively. Like I always wanted to be a dad as good as my dad. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have a family young, but I was also, but it was kind of ethereal and it was out there in the future. And I'm a bit of a procrastinator. Well, I'm a huge procrastinator. And so I'd put off the difficult, scary things in my life. I'd just push them out, push them out, push them out. And so I had it, the goal, but it wasn't structured. And it was like what I would say with my mouth, but really what was in there in my subconscious. And I was conscious of it as well, was like, get enough money that people will like you and you can get a hot missus and people will respect you and they won't, and you can control your environment and you can control other people. I was just a scared little boy. And so I would say this thing about like, I want to be his dad as good as mine, but it wasn't actually anchored through into what I felt. I would think that, but I wasn't feeling it. What I was actually after was just, I want to be rich enough so that I'm not lonely.
So you were almost living life on someone else's goal plan kind of thing. So what you thought others should think of you.
100%. Exactly that. I just wanted to go out and I saw the blueprint, which was like, I'm going to get muscles and I'm going to get money and I'm going to get some notoriety and I'm going to get all these things and then I'll feel good. And then I'll love myself.
Mm.
No, nope. It's
What
a
changed?
story. It's an age old story,
Yeah.
but, I don't know if one person hears it and goes, actually, maybe I should shift goals, because they have it in sports like gold medal syndrome. Like you've trained your whole life to get this thing, and you're like, hold on a minute, like I was just caught in the momentum of the thing. This isn't actually what I want, which is a heartbreaking moment. And for me, when I got that exit and I had the money, that was like, I've got it. I didn't have anything else, but I still felt the same. There was nothing left on the plan to do, really. And so I guess that's why I entered into the spiral of destruction.
Yeah. So what changed for you? Like mentor, but what changed?
Yeah, I think, how like the worst thing that ever happened to you is the best thing that ever happened to you if you can make the best of it and turn it. Like I always like to say, like, polarity is not like this linear scale, it's actually a circle. So if you can go far around to the worst, like the worst idea is right next door to the best idea. They're not actually far away. And so when I lost the other half of footwear for basically no money, I was in debt, thrown out of my house, broke up with my girlfriend, got in trouble with the cops. That was enough of a rock bottom shakedown. And I had this red beanbag moment. And every house I'd lived in previous to that, I'd just move out of them and just be like, oh, send me the bill, take it out of my bond if there's anything extra, whatever. This time around, I had no money. So I was squatting in this house. I told the landlord I was moving out a week early, painting the walls, filling in holes in the walls. And I dropped this like roller into the paint and the paint splattered everywhere onto me. And that was like that moment specifically. It's seared into my memory, was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I sat down on this beanbag and I started crying and swearing at myself and just like, what have you done? Like, this is, from boy genius, who the man, all the things, to what I felt like was the end of my life, because I had to face up to all those things that you've used to build up your personality. Because at that point I was like Fit Boss. I had like this character. I'd always like wrap characters in front of who I really was. And so all of that was gone, and I was moving home, and literally thank God I had my mum and dad to go home to, and they just brought me home, never asked about the money, didn't charge me rent, feed me, wash my clothes. I'm 27. So without them, but it was the combination of that support structure from my parents and enough of a rock bottom of everything going to be like, I have to change. And then it was like, get a mentor, and get a mentor that has not just the financial success, but Brad has the characteristics of the person that I want to be. He's this family man, amazing marriage. His kids are amazing. He's like 23 years in supply chain, never made anyone redundant, even through the GFC. Him and his wife are working 100 hours a week, but then they're keeping all their staff. Just like epic integrity and character. And he had all the things I want. Got a boat and a mean house. So it was like, right, now I just do that. I just want to be like that. And so I just got in there and just followed along, basically.
Yeah. So realized that you couldn't do it by yourself. You hit rock bottom and you needed external guidance and support.
Yeah. And I handed over a lot of responsibility and accountability. Like I handed over a lot of agency and decision making, and I'd lie. And we got to the point where if I drank again, if I had alcohol, I would lose 25% of the company. It was locked into a contract, and people were like, that's crazy, da da da. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I can't beat this thing. And like, I trust Brad, and so he put a significant amount of energy into almost like shifting the course of the river. I like to think sometimes about humanity as a person. You have a soul, and it has a certain amount of power. And for me, I feel like as though it's like a raging torrent. And if you've got a dam strong enough to control it, like, awesome, you're going to have a great time. But if you don't, you're just going to flood the village every week. And so Brad became like the dam to get me to a point where it was under control enough that once I stepped out from under his wing, I was able to build the platform and the life for myself. And again, key point, mum and dad, this is two parents that mortgaged their family home to support me in my business. And then when I lost it all, never asked when it was coming. Never asked me once in 3 years until I paid them back.
Yeah. No, they were there to support you. They had your back.
They had my back. And so a lot of people go, wow, you're amazing and you're so strong and you're this and that. And I go, yeah, I also won, like, I got that life lottery thing, like to get those parents and to be born in New Zealand, and like with a relatively good, it's a Pentium 4, so you got all these advantages. And it's easy to watch the 65-second short on Instagram and go, oh, why haven't I done it? Why can't I do it? Like, yeah, well, there's a big story in behind of luck and grace that were provided to me.
Yeah, you were born a white male in a first world country. Put simply,
it's all the privilege. I got it all. That's all the.
Like, seriously, we don't. White men in first world country don't realize, in middle income and above, don't realize how good we've got it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
so, and I don't know if I fully live it. Yeah, like you try. Like, I just look at it objectively and go, oh my gosh. And I look at I have this analogy with friends of mine. One of the things Brad said to me is like, oh, what can I do to pay you back? He's like, I'm sweet. He's like, I don't need anything. Pay it forward. He's like, he's that guy. And there's a lot of friends and people in my life, and I've said this to them, like, if you're running a 100-meter race, I started 20 meters up the line with the best shoes ready to go. You're in the car park in bare feet, and like, we're finishing in about the same place. So who's the real winner? And I think you've got to recognize that, because again, social media right now, it's pervasive. It shows this like upper echelon-y thing. And so you compare yourself to that outcome and you go, I'm not doing as well, which results in a lower frequency, vibration, worse emotions that aren't conducive to working hard every day and achieving the outcome. And so I feel like a lot of people, this whole inspiration thing on social media is like, I don't even know if it's inspiration anymore. I think it's like, in a lot of ways, no, that's a tangent.
Yeah, it dulls people's lives, unfortunately. You and I are in business because of the internet, and leads are generated through social media. So it's a way that we're able to make money, but it's also one of the most harmful things happening in society today. We grew up disliking the media, but the media would often have a narrative and they would turn off when asked. Social media, there's hundreds of people sharing their side of the story and without having any integrity and hiding the B side or the C side or the D side kind of thing. And that's what's really leading to a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah. Humans are pattern recognition machines. We compare everything. We're just going through the life, looking at patterns, comparing things, and we see some of it consciously. Most of it's inside. And so you're just going through your life and your body's going, and like serotonin is directly correlated to where you feel like you sit in the hierarchy. Goes back to lobsters. There's all this science behind it. And so all you're seeing all day is like better than me, better than me, better than me, hotter than me, fitter than me, leaner than me, whatever. It's the most pervasive, destructive addiction on planet Earth. Like, meth's bad, alcohol's bad, crack cocaine's bad. Sure, for me, the social media addiction's almost more insidious because it's got this like long-term negative effect, but it doesn't have a short feedback loop that like crushes you. You know, you drink too much alcohol, you have a hangover, you break your phone, you have a fight. Oh my God, I need to stop this. Because what I think is going to happen is people are going to look back on their lives in 20 years and go, oh my gosh, those billionaire technocrat overlords harvested my potential right out from under me. All that time I should have been engaging with my daughter or my son, I could have run the marathon, I could have done any of the things. Instead, I was doom scrolling 10 to 25 hours a week of screen time. And it's so insidious. You don't realize until it's too late.
Yeah. There's a reason that they're aiming to pass a law. I think they might have already passed a law here in Australia that social media is banned for under 16-year-olds.
You should. Yeah. They shouldn't be on meth. They shouldn't be smoking weed. They shouldn't be drinking. They shouldn't be doing scrolling. My phone is a child phone, and my fiance has the password, and I can't get in. I get 20 minutes a day of Safari. I don't have the apps on there because I literally cannot control it. I'm, I've got a neurodivergent brain. I don't know what ones I've got, whatever letters I've got, whatever. But I'm especially like obsessive and like kind of get in there and and I cannot control it. And I've run ultra marathons, had kickboxing fights. I've got like a strong mind. I'm disciplined and I cannot control this thing. So what chance have kids got? Like from 9 or whatever. Yeah. And we used to, I don't know if I think you're a little bit older than me. We used to like come home and we'd get like 30 minutes of Dragon Ball Z once a day. And most of it was like powering up and talking. And then there was a few action scenes. And now everything's just so rich and full of dopamine. I don't know, people, it's just, anyway, I'm kind of ranting and raving here. Like, what's the takeaway? I reckon make your phone a child phone. Give the password to someone else and moderate it. Like for me personally, I'm a social media marketer, but I don't get high on my own supply. And I say that like unironically.
Well, you know what? That's funny. So watching the movies, the best drug suppliers are the drug suppliers that don't touch their own product.
Right? The traffickers, the middlemen, the arms dealers, right? I'm going to trade this person's content for this person's attention and I'm just going to suck. And if you've watched social media marketing the way I have, I remember in 2013 where if you had a great ad, you get a 50 ROAS. And then in 2017, you get a 10 ROAS. And then today, man, if your ad's really converting, You pay more for the impressions. I have watched the ad auction system go from auction to rent. And there are algorithms in the background that are just pulling out from every transaction 20 to 30% of the transaction value. Most e-commerce brands are operating 30% of their P&L is going to Meta and Google. And so that's not a local newspaper. That's not, there's no one getting employed here in New Zealand. That's the entire Western world, 20 to 30% of every transaction or a lot of transactions being ripped out and handed off to this sort of monolithic beast, right? That's product is the attention of the humans that they've engineered a system to keep those humans addicted to. Oh my God, I might have to quit my job. Honestly, I like have this conversation, but I don't know. I just like to at least be honest about what we're doing and the games we're playing. And
yeah, it's a very much deeper conversation. What is right and what is wrong? Like you're talking about the gold medal thing and going with the flow, and that's what we're doing with social media as well.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. If I've got like a second junction point in my life, which may be interested to talk about. Like Brad kind of got me back on track, and I was still really battling. And then in the last 2 years, I started like really interrogating my spirituality and walking with God and developing a relationship with Jesus, which has been the most impactful thing of all the things. And I kind of got to it at the end of the journey. And so for me, where I'm at this point, I'm still on the journey. Like I guess I'm non-denominational. I don't have all the answers. I've come to it late, and but what I've recognized is that having a higher power that allows me to get out from within the conversation with my ego, which I'm trapped in and I'm fighting for, and all these hedonistic human desires, I've made the most progress towards the things I really truly desire, which is proposing to my fiance and planning out our family and getting the business stable and shutting down all the side projects. And so that's all happened really quickly.
It's interesting, having faith, whether it's in a religion or having faith in yourself, has a massive change in your perspective on your outlook on life.
Yeah. I delineate between faith in yourself and faith in a higher power. And I like to use the term higher power only because it's like less charged, is the universe, trust the universe, true, utter belief in the universe. It's not really a religion, but there's a higher power there, right? Source, whatever. So I delineate between like faith in yourself and faith in higher power, at least in my lived experience, being able to externalize out from myself and like, it's not my weight. It's not my glory. I just get to show up and be myself. It removes all the metacognition and anxiety and stress and like, I have to do this under my own strength. That's been my experience, but I'm interested to hear from your perspective.
For me, it's like, I don't give a shit about what others think. So I can have faith in myself.
What a gift.
Like I used to, like growing up as a kid, I'm like, who cares what others think? As long as you have a positive impact on the people around you, and you're happy, that's all that matters.
Do you remember where it shifted or when it shifted or how it shifted? Because that's if we could help people do that, if you could bottle that up, like that's almost the whole game.
Well, for me, like humankind, why do we want to have a negative impact on others? Like if I'm happy, people around me are happy, we're in a better position. If they're not happy, there's going to be negative energy. So don't care about what you can't control. Focus on what you can control and look at focusing on yourself and being progressive and being fulfilled and have a net positive. Like you can't have a always positive impact, but having a net positive impact on the people around you.
I understand that cognitively. I understand how that's laid out. but how? Like the idea of like, I don't give a shit what other people think. I used to when I was a kid. Man, for me, I watched this Instagram reel the other day in my 20 minutes. Actually, I'd gotten a hold of the content phone and I had a 4-hour binge. So like, I'm literally like a child. But the hook of the reel was everything you want in business is on the other side of cringe. And it was a really cool way to put it because it's like, it's so true. Like putting yourself out there on social, trying the consulting call before you're good at it. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's cringe. And you say other people are cringe, or you feel like yourself is cringe. And cringe means, well, what are people thinking of me? Man, how did you overcome it? As I still battle with it. Like I use my path now is like, only God can judge me. Jesus loves me. He forgives me. So I'm going to rock up and be myself. That's how I've gotten there. But man, if a secular pathway to that would be amazing.
Yeah. Like when I realized I can't control other people's thoughts.
Yep.
And the way other people react, I'm like, just let it go.
So you embodied that idea. I can't control their thoughts. So there's nothing here.
Yeah. I can't control the way people react. I can control the way I show up. Like it comes back to saying if it's going to be, it's got to be me. I can control the way I show up. I can't control the way others show up.
If it's going to be, it's got to be me. Yeah, there should be a country song on that. And in that moment for that human that's sitting there going, okay, I get it. But when I go to film the video and post it, I feel this anxiety and this pain and this fear. How do I overcome that moment? How do I overcome in that moment? I don't have the answer, by the way. This is like I feel like this is honestly the $1 million question, the $1 billion question.
For me, I don't know if I've 100% got the answer. Like I just when I put content out there, like I put it out there. I don't care what others think. I'm like, I think people are going to learn from this. I'm pretty sure this is beneficial. And if it's not, I'm learning from it at least. Yeah. So focus on me. And I'm learning from it first, and then others are learning from it. And yeah, some people are going to like it, some people aren't going to like it. But the people that don't like it, they're not my people.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if we polarize people. Like we can't change the world at one time. It is if we want to make the impact, it's step by step.
Yeah.
So. Like, and I've really struggled with the whole religion, a secular, atheist type thing, and like you've been through that journey too.
Yeah, I'm on that journey. I feel like every time I think I'm like 10% of the way through, I come around a turn and I'm like, oh my God, the journey's way further than I ever thought. You know, it's like one of those things where you like climb the mountain and find out it's just taller and taller.
For me, it's like, we can't put, we have to back ourselves because if someone says it was God's intent or Lord's intent, I'm like, no, that's an excuse.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow.
That's an excuse for you not doing things properly.
Yeah. What about when the champion boxer gets up there and wins again and does the thing and contributes to charity and goes, I'm just a vessel for God's will?
So that they've got faith and they're backing. So don't get me wrong. Like,
but it's right. It can be there's the polarized angle.
Like they're on a journey. Like they're wanting to do better. And they're not realizing, for me, it's like, you're capable of this. Don't give yourself the credit. You're capable of this by yourself.
Yeah. It's interesting. And that's how I lived for 13, 14 years of my adult life. And now, for me, the ability to go, I'm a vessel, I'm capable, and I am bringing together God's highest plan in this planet Earth, and I'm living by these ideals which are like really good for people and for human, and it's like helping me be a better person. It's allowing me to reach deeper into my soul and pull out the potential that's there. That's how it feels to me, because when I was trying to do it through my
developing
own...
as a person?
Huh?
Is that you not developing as a person as well?
Yeah. Through the support of a higher power. That's for me. And I think it's a really interesting conversation, because I had developed as a person. I've been developing as a person my whole life, and went through a lot of people maybe give up at the red beanbag moment, and they do just implode. I was like, no, I'm going to go again. I've got to pay back my parents. Now I'm going to get the mentoring. And I got sober. And I started running marathons, and then started having kickboxing fights. And I started doing all these like hard things, but I still was unable personally. And maybe if I'd continued on that journey long enough, I would have got to the top of the mountain. I'm not sure. We'll never know. I was still unable to find peace and an immediate gateway to extracting the potential I had within myself. And so when you think about, at least one of my favorite religions is actually Sikhism, but I don't know. I've been investigating all of them and like learning about them all. It's really fun. But at least from a Christian perspective, as far as I understand it, it's the Holy Trinity. And so there's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And so God is within you. You are God, and God's all around us, and it's all with us, and it's this one united thing. But projecting out from the ego and going, hey, I'm channeling this like unified power from within me. That just, again, from my personal experience, having lived this like wild life, it just was like a switch. It was like turning on the potential tap. And I don't know if it's also like I had built a base of physical health and fitness and grit and da-da-da-da-da. It's obviously systems are complex, and you take one cog out of a watch, no matter how small the cog is, the whole watch falls apart. So yeah, I don't know. I'm talking about it, and I'm exploring it like openly and honestly without the answers, because I think this is is the best time to do it. Like when you're in the thing versus like once you've completed the thing, reflecting on the thing. I wish I'd done that through my journey, through my story, but I was too cringe to make content because I'm like, I suck. So I don't want to talk about my build back.
Well, this is part of your story now.
Yeah.
Bigger story, mate. So
maybe, yeah.
Part 2, part 3. So I've got a poster here. It's obviously we can't see it, but it says happiness isn't the destination. It's a whole friggin' ride. It's a whole friggin' journey. So your story is the entire journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And the sooner you recognize, like, and I say that these days, I didn't used to say it, man, I sold half of it with all these things and these moments. I was like, oh, good. Right now, this will be the money so I can get $10 million. Because when I get that yacht in the Adriatic Sea, then I can be happy. Right. And now I try to say to myself, it's right now. The good old days are now. Like, these are the good old days. I'm like,
correct.
I'm living my best life right now as we speak.
That's it. You have to live your best life today, because when you're in the future, you'll be looking back on today as the good old days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what so many people miss in business. So you're living for the future. You've also got to live for now.
Yeah, living in the past, living in the future. Just get in. The more you get into the now, the better. I used to spend so much time thinking about all the worst things that could happen, or the best things that could happen, or regretting decisions I'd made that had put me in the spot I am today, versus picking the high priority task, sitting down and doing the thing. And again, like, I've always just struggled, and I don't know if other entrepreneurs struggle with this as much as I did, but like, I know what I need to do. And especially in today's age, when I started in e-commerce, like, you had to figure it out. There was no reels. There was no lead magnets. Like, information is now not the problem. It has got nothing to do with, what do I do? There isn't a lot of the agencies and stuff, they give away their best stuff. Like, here's how to run your ad account. Here's how to make your creative. Here's how to build your product. Here's how to get into Walmart. All of the information's there. It's the ability to go, I'm going to start working today in a focused capacity on the high priority task. I'm going to do 2 hours and just doing that each day. Like, that is for me the difference maker between business owner A who wins and business owner B who loses, goes to another program and goes, I need better info. But it's just actually procrastination away from confronting that internal fear of like, I don't want to do this thing because it's scary. I'm going to start.
Yep. Yeah, you're spot on. So you've got to go and execute. Simon, we've had a great time talking. If people want to get in touch, what's the best way to connect?
Instagram, Simon John Phillips on Instagram, and Simon John Phillips on YouTube. Simon John Phillips, like most places, but like Instagram and YouTube are great spots. Can I plug a little project that we're working on?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay. Yeah, we're building a Ayurvedic wellness brand. It was for my co-founder, Amit. He was the CFO of a major Australian mining company, big, like $250 million publicly listed company. And then he got this thing, ulcerative colitis, some intestine thing. I need to learn it. And it sent him into like a lost decade. He spent 10 years battling health, psychiatric ward, this whole thing. Western medicine couldn't help him. He turned to Eastern medicine from like his lineage, and it healed him from the inside out. And so we're building that brand in public from the ground up. Every single whip, the P&L, behind the ad account, the whole thing is going to be fully public. And we want to display how you can build a supplement brand in today's world with authenticity and with integrity, and most of all, with real products. And so what we're hoping to show is, instead of like a course or a thing, it's like, here's this business being built from the inside out. Watch it end to end. And so that's going to be on my YouTube channel. And that's the kind of biggest content project thing I'm working on at the moment.
I'm definitely going to sign up and follow that one.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Awesome. See you, mate.
That's a wrap. Thanks for tuning into The Growth Equation. If you've enjoyed the show, hit that subscribe button and leave a review. It helps us big time. Catch you next time. And if you want more, head over to evolvetogrow.com.au for show notes and exclusive content.